Hey guys and girls, it's Blackjack with 396 Guitars. We have the FG-180. Yeah, FG-180. Sorry, I had two different acoustics up here today. This is the one referred to. This is part 2 of the series. It came to me with a snapped off neck. It took quite a little bit of work to get it mated back up, and I didn't show much of that. Refer to the first video. You'll see what condition it was in, and you can compare that to where we're at now. It took a lot of work, as I said. Let's get to it. If you dig what I'm doing, like and subscribe. Guitar came to me literally snapped in half. Not only was the neck detached from the body, it was separated, the fretboard was separated from the neck all the way down to here, and on the back side even farther, all the way up to here, or here, and all the way over to here. So the first step was we got the neck, the fretboard laminated back to the neck, and that took a lot of clean out, getting up in there with a pick, you know, and getting it to where it would pull together enough where I think we're going to be okay. I believe that it was broken and left to languish for a long time. I have to confirm that with the customer, because it did not want to mate the neck and the heel. It did not want to mate back together. I had to do a fair amount of digging out down in the pocket and a little bit of cleanup on the heel, the partial heel that was left. Part of the heel was left on the body of the guitar, and you can see right there, this part of the heel was left on the guitar. This part of the heel was left on the neck. It did not want to go back together, and it did not want to pull up. And when you're, and this is why I really told this gentleman I didn't feel confident that we could get a positive result, because when I test fitted it, when I first met him and first saw the victim, it did not want to pull up. There was a good 1/8 of an inch gap, and it would not pull up. It took a little bit of work to get it to where I knew now, when I put the glue on it, and I clamped it down, I was getting squeezed out, and I test fitted everything a lot. And that's why I didn't film it, because it was just, it would never have translated over to the video. But we had to dig out the pocket down in here a lot. I mean, come on, focus. We had to dig out the pocket down in here a lot, and the truss rod ends pretty much right there. And there was just the dowel sticking up, and I had to break part of that off and finagle it. It took quite a bit of work to get it set back into the body, but once I got it clamped down, and I used kind of some oddball clamps like that, they go down into the, it's the, whatever. They go down in there, they clamp from the bottom. I had clamps all over the damn thing. And yeah, it's still, we're not 100% that we're going to be there, but we're much farther along than I thought we would be. Being that this girl was dead in the water, I think it was left way too long. When a guitar breaks, a headstock snaps off, or a neck breaks off, it's best to try to mate it back together immediately. If you let it languish for periods of time, long periods of time, wood will start to shrink, and the breakage points don't want to mate back up. That's the problem I ran into. So anyway, I digress. That's where we're at. I did some other repairs too. There was a lot of, I have to do a lot of cleanup. I have to do some sanding. That's glue wipe off there. We're going to sand that down. I may even show how I do that and repair it. I had to glue some of the binding, which wasn't his complaint, but I'm not going to give his guitar back. There was binding that was pulled off all the way back to here, so I glued it. So we got a little bit of sanding to do there, get that off. I was able to save the one last little piece of binding that goes in there that kept getting in the way when I tried to put the neck back in. So I snipped it off and glued it back in there. That can easily be cleaned off, and all the rub out from when the glue, when you squeeze it together, you get a lot of squeeze out, and that's what this shadow is here. We're gonna sand that down, and then we're gonna buff it back up. It'll be clean. It'll look nice. What I'm more concerned about right now. Sorry, I went on a little bit too longer than I wanted to, but I wanted to bring you up. I took the truss rod cover off, and because the brake was right there, the truss rod was exposed. Look at the first video. The end of the truss rod was right there, and it was exposed, and it didn't have a whole lot left to grab a hold of. I kind of fixed that before I glued it together. I put a piece of chiclet in there, hardwood chiclet, so it has something to rub against. I did get on there with a wrench. I straightened it out when I got the guitar. The neck was in a banana, terrible, and I turned it, and it grabbed, and it straightened the neck out. So when we string it up, we should be okay. Basic stuff. I cleaned the frets. I'm going to now oil the board. I am not going to bore you with that. I want to clean the guitar. We're going to have to probably restring this guitar more than once, but I really at this point don't want to waste a set of strings on it, but I'm going to have to. I really want to get it strung up and see what happens. Later, we're going to do a complete setup. But I want to get the strings on it, get tension on it, and see what happens with this repair. It's at this juncture, that's all we can do, because you can't just go forward with, yep, guitar's back together, it's going to be fine. We don't know that. So stand by while I put a set of strings on it, and keep your fingers crossed. So we're down to the high E string. So far, I'm feeling more confident. I think we're going to be able to bring this guitar back to life. It still needs quite a bit of work, but we're going to get there. I'm pretty certain now I have changed my tune. I think we're going to be there. I think it's going to tune up, and I think we might even have some good measurements on the action. The holes in the bridge are very wonky. I pulled the bend the string under so it grabs underneath and puts underneath the string peg. They're very worn out, but they all seem to grab. I think that one's actually moving in the hole. Everything tuned up. I'm a little worried about that, but we'll fix for that if it gives us trouble. I don't know. Could be the first chord this guitar has played in a long time. Remember, I'm not a guitar player. so far we don't have any buzzing frets. Just eyeballing the string action, I can tell it's a little bit tall. Let's go to making some measurements. So far, the only string that didn't want to stay in tune was the B, but they're all there. Notice the tuner. So they're all new strings, so they're stretching. Well, so far, so good. We're making music again with a guitar that was broken in half, literally. I can live with that. Let's take some measurements. I'm just curious where we're at. You know, this is what I do. This is just a mock-up, by the way. This is not going to be its forever set of strings. There's a lot of this guitar that kind of spooks me. We had a lot of pull down, I should say, in the body when I put tension on it. And that's a big deal, putting string tension on it once you've, you know, glued everything back together and made it be a guitar again, or a guitar-shaped object, as it were. I wonder where our neck relief is, just out of curiosity. It's loose, and I don't disagree with that, because all I did was set it straight by eyeball. I didn't even measure it because of everything that we went through with it. String height, yeah, it's going to be really tall. I can almost tell by looking at it. It looks like it's going to be tall. Yeah, way taller than I would want it. Am I in the video at all? So we're at like 7/64 on the high E and really high. Yeah, we're way over 8, 9, 10/64 on the low E. So just for giggles, I'm going to put some more tension on it. Now, this could be a good thing. I'm going to put more tension because we don't have enough. We got too much relief in the neck. This is where everything goes to shit. If it's going to go to shit, it's going to go to shit when I tighten up the neck. So what we're trying to do is bring the neck up straighter, because the neck relief was too loose. And down here where the brake was, the truss rod end was sitting right there at the brake. It seems to be tightening up and straightening. I think it needs more. This is scaring me, because wow. Let's tune it, make sure we're not over tensioned on the strings. That's weird. With all of that tension I just put on it, it should have changed the tuning, but it didn't. Let's check relief one more time. Am I in the video? I'm going to adjust slightly. It is tighter. It is getting closer. but it needs more. And, ooh, well, now we're getting into the danger zone. Now we're getting into the danger zone. Usually by that much turning on the truss rod will usually bring that neck right up. I'm not sure that it's getting enough purchase back there. Right here. I think what it's doing is it's pushing against all of our work. I don't see anything coming apart. That's a good sign. Curious. I'm curious. Wow. It wants more. And I'm really wondering what that truss rod end is getting against. I don't think it's doing it. I don't think it's doing it. Don't think this is going to be happy. And this is what I was worried about when I had the guitar apart. See, no matter how much tension I put on it, it doesn't go out of tune. And it's not changing the neck relief. So it's as if it was a guitar with a frozen truss rod. And the thing is, we're putting way too much tension on it down here. It did make it tighter, but it's not getting me where I want to be. We can't lower any more here, and we're not getting where we want to be there. Boy, I'll tell you, the thing stays in friggin' tune, though. Maybe that's just the way it always was. I don't know. Anything on the string height. We sure did. We sure did. We definitely lowered our string action. But I'm going to tell you, in my heart of hearts, we got too much tension on that truss rod. I'm going to back it off a turn just because I think there's too much tension on it. I don't know. I could probably put another turn on it to tighten it and get it straighter, but I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop. I'm going to take some of the tension off and go, after everything that this guitar has been through, I think that's the best result we're going to get. I just don't trust it. See, now loosening it, now it changed our tuning. That's encouraging. Maybe it just needed to back off a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. think we need to let it settle. I may come back to this. Yeah, see, I loosened it and the string action went a little bit higher. I think we need to let it settle overnight. It's a lot for this guitar to have gone through. I think we're going to stop there. Boy, it likes to stay into it. It's so stable. It's a really narrow neck. I got big fat bass player's fingers. I like it. It's playing again. That's a positive result. And at the end of the day, that's really all we were after at this juncture. A lot of work we did on this guitar. I'm not going to take the strings. I'm going to let this thing sit overnight and see if we have any movement. I know that glue can't separate, but I think what's happening, instead of getting neck relief in it, I think it's actually pulling down on the body and pulling up on the bridge instead of actually bending the neck, which is what I needed to do, is to come back up straight. Because the truss rod, there wasn't much there left for it to grab a hold of. But I'm not going to tighten it up again until it sits overnight and sleeps a little bit, and then I'm going to try again tomorrow. This may take a couple of days to get it up to snuff, but this guitar is going to make music again. It is well on its way to doing it right now. I mean, it's holding together, and I am such a fucking bass player, man. I can't get this. This is a very narrow guitar. Yeah. Bass player trying to play guitar. There you go. Yeah. Oh, something weird. I saw a string peg down there, and look. That string peg popped out of the hole. The string is holding itself in there. I don't know how or why. Yeah, we got some work to do left on this guitar. I did not want to rebuild this guitar, but we're this far into it, so we're going to continue. I think we're on our way to a semi-positive result. It's Blackjack with 396 guitars. If you dig what I'm doing, like and subscribe. Thank you, all of you who support me. We'll talk soon.